Everyone knows MicroStrategy in the US, but what if I told you that Europe has its own version and barely anyone is talking about it? This company isn't just stacking Bitcoin, they're building the infrastructure, they're running the nodes, they're setting themselves up to become the backbone of Bitcoin in Europe. And most investors have no idea they even exist. But here's why you need to look into it right now. Think of this like you're getting behind MicroStrategy when they first started buying Bitcoin. If Bitcoin keeps growing like we think it will, the companies building the foundation now are going to own the future. This could be one of the most overlooked plays in the entire market. And if you stick around, I'll show you how to take advantage of this whole thing and how you can use that same strategy to get ahead of everyone else. Now, let's dive in. Europe is going to pump Bitcoin and you need to prepare right now. So here's this tweet that I found on X by Bitcoin magazine. They're saying just in the blockchain group is up 1100% over 6 months since the launch of the Bitcoin treasury strategy. And this is what we call the Bitcoin effect. So guys, I just want to be clear. Do you know how much 1100% is? That is so much. The S&P 500 on average generates 7 to 10% annualized returns, and this stock did many multiples of that, 1100% in a period of just 6 months time. So let's quickly dissect what is going on. So the stock that you're seeing here on my screen is from the blockchain group. And what is a blockchain group? Well, compare it to what strategy is in the US. Blockchain group wants to be in Europe. And who exactly is the blockchain group? What is it? What is their story? What do they actually do? In reality, it's a French tech company, but it's doing a lot more than you think. So here is an explanation of the blockchain group. They're saying, who are we? We are a Bitcoin treasury company supporting businesses in their digital transformation. The Bitcoin treasury company strategy aims for the accumulation and the perpetual holding, meaning holding forever, not selling, not trading. Perpetual holding means holding forever. So they want to hold Bitcoin forever with no intention to sell, following a long-term approach. The choice of Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset is based on its unique attributes: unparalleled scarcity, because there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin, security, and decentralization. With a supply limited to 21 million units, Bitcoin is the only globally accessible asset whose scarcity is verifiable and unalterable. You can change it, and it's openly visible on the blockchain. So why is this point so important? Because yes, gold is very scarce, but you can produce more gold. And the gold market is not very transparent, all right? We don't have exact numbers of how much gold is being produced every single year. And also we don't know, for example, how big the actual available supply of gold is. The most important example is probably Fort Knox. So Fort Knox is where the US stores their gold reserves. There's these numbers, these stats, which say that Gold Knox holds the largest gold reserves in the world, but they don't want to pass an audit. So when Trump was running for presidency, he was claiming that he wanted to get Fort Knox audited. In the end, it never got audited. And my assumption is that there's not enough gold in Fort Knox to actually back up their claim. So it's just very non-transparent. Whereas Bitcoin is super transparent. You can see every transaction, every wallet. You can verify everything on the blockchain. And that's the beauty of Bitcoin. So it's offering an unmatched store of value. Okay, so basically what they're saying here is that they're going to just accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. So here are some of their operational activities: data intelligence, artificial intelligence, and decentralized technology activities. So let's dissect this. We combine our different fields of expertise to build end-to-end technology solutions. Our methodological approach is strongly based on our academic and R&D background. Our clients come from all industry sectors, seeking how to transform technology's promise into bottom-line business results. To be honest, this really sounds like a very generic consulting deck. And yeah, I also know that the founders or the guys behind this company are actually from Accenture, I believe, which is also a large strategy consulting firm. So yeah, this resembles the language of management consulting firms, basically. Here you see the leadership team. So the blockchain group's new governance and strategic investors. So the leadership team, 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗰𝗹 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗰𝗹𝗶. I'm not going to pronounce these names, but here you see chairman, board member, their CEO, their deputy CEO and director of the Bitcoin strategy. And that's a guy here that's presenting this deck. So I watched a video of him. And in this video, I'm just dissecting the most important highlights so that you don't have to do your own research. But yeah, I believe this guy came straight from Accenture, large management firm. And their company is now backed by a bunch of large investors, which is also a great sign to the wider investment ecosystem that if a few big names connect themselves to this company, then generally that's a great vote of confidence that other investors will invest in it too. But here's where things get interesting. They're not just building, so they're not just providing these services. So what they're explaining over here, data intelligence, AI, decentralized technological activities, those are service-based activities which generate a revenue or a profit. And with that profit, they want to buy Bitcoin. But not only with that profit, they also want to borrow money against that Bitcoin, or they want to raise more money through debt and equity, just exactly like what MicroStrategy is doing. But ultimately, it comes down to the fact that they just want to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. So here's a press release, May 20, so very recent. The blockchain group continues its Bitcoin treasury strategy with a new capital increase totaling $8.6 million at $1,200 per share. So it's basically selling its shares in order to raise more money. So operations carried out through a reserved capital increase and a private placement with a premium of 20% compared to the volume-weighted average share price of the blockchain group on Euronext Growth Paris. So they're listed on the Paris Stock Exchange over the 20 trading days preceding the board of directors' decision. So in short, they're selling more shares to raise more money, which will then be used to buy more Bitcoin. And here is their breakdown. They're saying, hey, the United States has MicroStrategy, and they're doing very well. MicroStrategy is up with almost 3% in a period of 5 years. In fact, Strategy is the golden boy of the stock market. They have outperformed every single stock out there just by acquiring as much Bitcoin as possible. So right now they're holding somewhere like 550,000 Bitcoin. In Asia, so listed on the Tokyo Stock Exchange, you have MetaPlanet. MetaPlanet is up 1,700% in less than a year, or in roughly a year. Now the blockchain group, they want to be the MicroStrategy of Europe. And they're already up 474% in just a period of 6 months. And the game plan or the playbook of every single one of these players is number 1, raise capital. Number 2, accumulate Bitcoin. Number 3, hold Bitcoin forever. Number 4, don't sell your Bitcoin and don't lose your Bitcoin. Those are the 5 simple pillars of their strategy. And their philosophy is that Bitcoin treasury companies can achieve more Bitcoin over time by leveraging financial engineering. So what MicroStrategy is doing, for example, they're coming up with all of these financial instruments like convertible debt, raising money through selling stocks, whatever. This whole ecosystem of financial products for them to acquire more money to buy Bitcoin. And ultimately, the core KPI of all of these Bitcoin treasury companies is how many Bitcoin or how many sats, which are like smaller chunks of Bitcoin, you can accumulate per share of the company. So over time, you want to see that grow. And the growth of Bitcoin per share, that's what we call the Bitcoin yield. So you want the number of Bitcoin per share to go up over time, and the percentage increase is what we express as the Bitcoin yield. That's all that these Bitcoin treasury companies are focused on. So here's another tweet by Bitcoin for Corporations. Just in, the Bitcoin group acquired 580 Bitcoin for roughly $50.6 million. So an average price of $88,000 per Bitcoin. Their Bitcoin yield is now somewhere around 709% year to date, and their total Bitcoin holdings, not that much yet, guys. 620 Bitcoin, it's a start. It's not where MicroStrategy is right now with 550,000 Bitcoin or something like that, but it's a start. Strategy started somewhere, MetaPlanet started somewhere, and this is a start for Europe's MicroStrategy. So if they remain on this trajectory, then maybe soon they're going to be as big as the other two companies, or growing as fast as the other two companies. So they aren't just hoarding sats, they're also building Bitcoin infrastructure. They're powering the ecosystem, not just riding it. So here are some of the operational companies within their portfolio. So you have 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗰𝗹, you have 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗰𝗹. Sorry if I'm butchering those names, but what do those do? So this 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗰𝗹 is a tailor-made web applications agency, so they make web applications for companies. You have MetaDev3, which is a decentralized tech development agency. And then you have 𝗗𝗏𝗀, which is a data intelligence and AI company. So they're delivering these three services in order to generate a profit to buy more Bitcoin. So this gives them a baseline revenue. Just like MicroStrategy is also offering a SaaS solution for business intelligence. So literally, actually, it's just a copycat of MicroStrategy. They're copying every single step of the MicroStrategy playbook. And I believe that this is something that Tony Robbins once said. If you want to achieve success, find someone that has achieved that success, copy exactly what they have done, and you will achieve the same results. It comes down to modeling what already works. Pablo Picasso has a similar saying: good artists copy, great artists steal. So all of these successful people are just talking about modeling what already works. And that's exactly what the blockchain group is doing. So they have all of these different business units, but in the end, these business units, they don't really matter, really, because the big hype and the big money is being generated by just accumulating Bitcoin and coming up with great financial engineering solutions. So yeah, all those portfolio companies, front-end, back-end development, blockchain development, AI, sure. So why is this such a big deal for Bitcoin? Europe has been dormant. You know, all of the innovation happening in Europe, there's not too much innovation. Literally, most of the innovation happening right now is happening in the United States. Silicon Valley, Wall Street. The US has the greatest capital market in the world. If you have a great idea, you can make a pitch deck, you can raise billions, you can launch a unicorn startup. If you are great with numbers, you can work on Wall Street, or you can create your hedge fund or work with a bank, become an investment banker. There's so much money to be made. There's so many creative ways to make money. China is also very innovative. Generally, they just copy what is working really well in the United States. So they copy all of these US unicorns and US innovations. For example, China created their own version of ChatGPT called DeepSeek and completely shocked the world. They have copycats of Uber, of Facebook, of literally every great US unicorn. So both those two economies are really innovative in their own ways. And Europe is always lagging. There's not much innovation happening in Europe. But finally, some people are waking up in Europe and they start to see the potential of Bitcoin and building a Bitcoin acquisition vehicle, just like MicroStrategy, MetaPlanet, 21 Capital, Nakamoto HQ. So yeah, this is the age of the Bitcoin treasury companies. So the blockchain group is following the exact same steps as the top treasury companies. So here you see Strategy was up almost 13%, MetaPlanet. So this is in the first month of announcing their Bitcoin treasury strategy. They were up 13%, MetaPlanet 58%, the blockchain group 120%. Similarly, within 3 months, Strategy was up 51%, MetaPlanet 321%, Blockchain Group 265%. Within 6 months, you get the point. Basically, the whole point of this slide is to show that the Blockchain Group is on a similar trajectory as Strategy and MetaPlanet. So here you see Strategy adopted the Bitcoin Treasury strategy on the 18th of August 2020. Here, MetaPlanet on the 8th of April 2024. Here, the Blockchain Group on the 5th of November 2024. So, yeah. Bitcoin Treasuries companies are the fastest growing companies on the stock market right now. Yeah, definitely. So there's very few companies which are growing at these rates. And that shows that the financial markets are validating, are appreciating these Bitcoin Treasury companies. So exciting times. And that's why we're seeing these Bitcoin acquisition vehicles popping up left and right. The Blockchain Group is focused on maximizing Bitcoin per share and Bitcoin yield. So in Q4 2024, they had 41 sets. So the Satoshis are the smallest units of Bitcoin. And now they have 332 sets per share. So they increased the Bitcoin per share. And they increased their Bitcoin yield from 141% to 700%. So the strategy is working. They're growing, it's working, it's being validated, and they're increasing their Bitcoin per share. So here are the top 21 countries in Europe by crypto interest. The United Kingdom, the Netherlands, where I'm from, Poland, Germany, Russia. France is actually not that high, but being listed on the stock market in France, in Paris, allows these other European countries to gain access to this investment. So people from the UK, from the Netherlands, from Poland, Germany. I think it would make sense for people within Europe that are holding euros to invest in this. Maybe not the United Kingdom, but other euro-denominated countries or economies. For them, it kind of makes sense to invest on the Paris stock market in a company like the Blockchain Group. And this could just be the beginning, guys. So we're seeing these Bitcoin acquisition vehicles popping up left and right. But if more European firms follow, then Bitcoin's floor moves up fast. We see them popping up in Asia, in the United States. Now it's time for Europe. All these companies are raising millions or billions to buy up Bitcoin. And with a limited supply of Bitcoin and an increased demand for Bitcoin, to me it only means one thing. The price of Bitcoin is going to go up and we're going to enter some wild times for Bitcoin. All right, if you enjoyed watching this video, do me one quick favor, smash the like button. To me, that will give me good feedback to understand whether you like this video or not and whether I should make more videos like this. And if you haven't done so yet, also make sure to subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be posting regular videos just like this one to help you to make sense of everything that's going on in the market and to help you to position yourself for maximum profits. All right, hey, thanks for watching. Peace out, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.